Coming up on News 11, SUNY Fredonia has announced they are dropping their indoor mask mandate. Target has announced a raise in their minimum wage. And we give you the latest update on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. These stories and more, News 11 starts right now. Good evening and welcome to News 11. I'm Chloe Kowalik.
And I'm Andy Velez-Davis.
Breaking news out of SUNY Fredonia today. Earlier today in his weekly email, SUNY Fredonia President Collison announced that starting tomorrow, students and staff are no longer required to wear masks in campus facilities indoors. This comes after a New York State Governor Kathy Hochul announced last Saturday that schools in New York were no longer required to wear masks after Wednesday. In his email, President Collison said, quote, "As we become mask optional, please be aware that many individuals may choose to continue to wear masks for a variety of reasons. They should be able to do so freely and be treated with respect. There should be no shaming, ridiculing of, harassment of individuals who choose to wear these masks. This is essential to our value of being an inclusive campus," end quote. The update policy comes in consultation with CDC regulations and the Chautauqua County Health Department, including downgrading the transmission level in the community from high to medium.
It's not just SUNY Fredonia that has lifted their mask mandate. Chautauqua County has followed along with the protocol, and their mandate was lifted on time amongst the county schools. Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell said, quote, "Our COVID-19 leadership team has previously discussed our position on masks in schools, and after careful consideration, we have decided that Chautauqua County will not be implementing further mask mandates in our schools at this time," end quote. Each county still has a say in whether or not they will be choosing to lift the mandate in their area. Although the mandate has been lifted, transmission rates can ultimately put them back into place within the state.
After initially announcing on Monday that their students would be required to wear masks, Buffalo Public Schools went back on their rules and announced that they will no longer require masks for everyone. After citing the Department of Health guidelines, the schools announced that the individuals should only wear masks if they feel more comfortable doing so. In a breaking update, last night, Cash resigned from his position as superintendent. While it is still unknown why he made this decision, it was reported that it was a mutual decision between Cash and the board. Cash's resignation comes just 3 weeks after the stabbing of a 14-year-old student and an unarmed security guard was shot at McKinley High School. Associate Superintendent for Student Support Services, Dr. Tanja Williams, will serve as the interim superintendent.
A 12-inch water main break in the village of Fredonia near Temple Street early Monday prompted the city of Dunkirk to supply water to Fredonia. During the incident, the city of Dunkirk temporarily provided water to Fredonia for a couple of hours, Mayor Wilfred Rosa said. Mayor Douglas Essick of Fredonia said that the leak was discovered little before 2 a.m. He said it was a pipe that takes water from Chestnut Street to Temple Street, located behind houses on Temple that are directly across the street from SUNY Fredonia dorms. He noted Fredonia returned to the favor last year, supplying water to Dunkirk when it had its own dealings with a 12-inch water main break that occurred in August on Lakeshore Drive, leaving many customers with low pressure. Brown-colored water was reported at SUNY Fredonia on Monday morning, prompting a campus alert, but a 12-inch main off Main Street and Temple Street was reportedly fixed by noon.
SUNY Fredonia has announced the speaker for morning commencement on Saturday, May 21st in Steele Hall. The college has chosen Trini Ross, a SUNY Fredonia alum and the United States Attorney for the Western District of New York. Ross is the first African-American woman to hold this position, and she was appointed by President Joe Biden. Ross is also local, as she's from Buffalo, New York. She received her Bachelor of Arts from SUNY Fredonia in 1988 and her Juris Doctorate from Buffalo State University in 1992. SUNY Fredonia President Stephen Collison said, quote, "I am looking forward to welcoming Ms. Ross back to Fredonia," end quote.
The long-anticipated drug addiction treatment clinic in Dunkirk is finally set to open. A ribbon cutting will be held at the Safe Point Lighthouse Center, located at 305 Main Street on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Dr. Chinazo Cunningham, Commissioner of the New York State Offices of Addiction Services and Supports, Paul Wendell, and Dunkirk Mayor Wilfred Rosa will be in attendance. According to the Acacia Network, a nonprofit in New York, the clinic will, quote, serve about 500 people with the integrated behavioral health and addiction services that included medication-assisted treatment, counseling, peer support services, relapse prevention, mental health care, and physical examination referrals, and more, end quote. The nonprofit has more than 100 affiliates. Its president, Raul Rossi, and its CEO, Limaris Alborz, will also appear at the ribbon cutting on Wednesday.
Sarah Jo Dragonette of Niagara has been getting tattoos since she was 15 years old. She has also worked up quite the impressive collection of body art since then. She recently entered a contest to be on the cover of Inked magazine. In addition to being on the cover, she could win $25,000. She has already made it into the quarterfinals. For the past 7 years, she has been getting tattoos at Sink or Swim on Niagara Falls Boulevard, and she works with the artist Shannon Kuzara. Currently, Dragonette says she is in the top 1% of contestants who have entered.
If you're a Rochester local, get ready because the Rochester Lilac Festival announced a full lineup of events back in their original format for the first time since 2019. The health and wellness experience will allow people to exercise in fresh air. The schedule includes events such as the Lilac Parade on May 7th, which will feature the 20 marching bands, dancers, costume characters, and so much more. The Art in the Park will welcome back artisans from all around the country this year to sell their handcrafted jewelry, art, and clothing creations during this juried annual event on May 7th and 8th. The Kids Zone is a family-friendly amusement park section that will feature outdoor attractions from rides and bounce houses to midway games and more. The festival will take place the weekends of May 6th through the 8th, May 12th through the 15th, and May 19th to 22nd. People interested in all of the events should check out their website for further information. Tickets are on sale now. And when we come back, a possible new subvariant of Omicron has been discovered. And more national headlines. We'll be right back.
We've been down there. You gotta do the same. All you do is sign. So don't get nervous. Sign your name. Selective service. It takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Selective service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service. We've been down there. You gotta do the same. Post office. All you do is sign. So don't get nervous. Sign your name. Selective Service. It takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service.
Recent data from the CDC has shown that cases of a highly transmissible subvariant of the Omicron variant are doubling in the U.S. each week. The subvariant called BA.2 or stealth Omicron is reportedly responsible for 8% of cases in the U.S. in the past week. The week prior, the infection rate was 4%, and the week before, the cases were at 2%. Experts have noticed that lowering the mask mandate may be giving this subvariant a chance to spread further. BA.2 is also the main lineage in 18 other countries. The subvariant is seen mostly in young unvaccinated individuals and has not shown many instances of hospitalizations or death. However, BA.2 has been found to decrease vaccine efficiency. As many states begin to lift their mask mandates prior to the CDC's update guidance, it is unclear how the lack of masks will impact the spread of BA2.
President Joe Biden is looking to make major changes within nursing homes. During his State of the Union address on Tuesday night, Biden proposed an overhaul of the nursing home industry. Biden plans to protect nursing home residents, hold providers accountable for unsafe and substandard care, and improve the quality of nursing homes. However, with this proposal, there is now a need for more substantial staff in order to follow through with Biden's plans. The proposal calls for the nation's 15,000 skilled nursing facilities, but there are no new sources of federal funding to pay for any of these changes. According to Mark Parkinson, president of the American Healthcare Association / National Center for Assisted Living, quote, "To make real improvements, we need policymakers to prioritize investing in this chronically underfunded healthcare sector and support providers' improvement on the metrics that matter for residents," end quote. Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, says Biden's proposal is looking to take, quote, "new steps to protect seniors and other nursing home residents by cracking down on unsafe nursing homes," end quote.
On Monday, Viatris Inc., formerly known as Mylan, has agreed to pay $264 million to resolve a class action lawsuit regarding EpiPens. The lawsuit alleges that the company engaged in a scheme to delay generic competition to its EpiPen allergy treatment. The litigation began after Mylan raised the list price for EpiPens from $100 to $600 in 2008. The case was slated to go on trial this month. According to NBC, Mylan and Pfizer, who manufactured the EpiPens, were accused of, quote, "engaging in wide-ranging anti-competitive conduct that allowed them to maintain a monopoly over the market for the devices," end quote. However, U.S. District Judge Daniel Crabtree dismissed a majority of this case against Mylan. This left only a 2012 patent litigation claim settlement with generic drug maker Teva Pharmaceutical Industries. Allegedly, the defendants entered into an unlawful, quote, pay-for-delay settlement with Teva. This resulted in the delayed release of generic version of the EpiPen, allowing Mylan to raise its product's price without fear of competition. Teva and Pfizer have denied any wrongdoing. Last year, Pfizer agreed to settle for $345 million, but Teva was not a defendant.
Workers at Target stores and distribution centers in New York could see starting wages as high as $24 an hour this year. On Monday, Target said that it will adopt minimum wages that range from $15 to $24 an hour, with the highest pay going to hires in the most competitive markets. The new starting wage is part of a company plan to spend an additional $300 million on its labor force this year that will include broader and faster access to health care coverage for its hourly workers. Target CEO Brian Cornell said, quote, "The market has changed. We want to continue to have an industry-leading position," end quote. Back in 2017, Target set a new marker for the retail industry when it announced it would increase hourly wages to $15 by 2020. However, U.S. labor market dynamics have changed during the pandemic, causing many employers to face severe worker shortages. The demand for workers has steadily pushed wages up, especially for lower-income workers. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, compared to last year, pay among the poorest one-quarter of workers jumped 5.8% in January. That is double the gains for the highest-paid one quarter.
The wave of book bannings around the country has reached a level not seen for decades. Over the last year, censorship efforts have ranged from local communities such as Orange County and a Tennessee school boards pulling Art Spiegelman's graphic novel Mouse to statewide initiatives. Yale Levin, a spokeswoman for No Left Turn in Education, a national group opposed to what it calls a leftist agenda for public schools, said, quote, "There are some books with pornography and pedophilia that should absolutely be removed from K through 12 school libraries," end quote. According to PEN America, which has been tracking legislation around the country, dozens of bills have been proposed that restrict classroom reading and discussion. Virtually all of the laws focused on sexuality, gender identity, or race. The responses have come from organizations, large and small, and sometimes from individuals. Vera Eidelman, staff attorney with the ACLU's Speech, Privacy, and Technology Project, cited the U.S. Supreme Court's 1982 ruling declaring that, quote, "local school boards may not remove books from school library shelves simply because they dislike the ideas contained in those books," end quote. The wave of bans has led to the new organizations and to a change of focus for existing groups.
As more companies and individuals are showing support for Ukraine, many bars, restaurants, and liquor stores are no longer selling Russian-made vodka. Total Wine in Florida has now pulled all of its Russian-made products from its shelves. Customers shopping at Total Wine locations were still met with plenty of vodka choices in store aisles, next to signs which read, quote, "We will no longer be serving Russian-made products." A different establishment in Miami, Shots Bar in the Wynwood area, is doing the same. They posted a message on Instagram saying, quote, "We pulled all the Russian spirits." Their message ended with the hashtag #StandWithUkraine. One customer, Mike Young, said, quote, "There are a lot of oligarchs in Russia who are currently losing a lot of money, and some of them are going to lose money because of the vodka. And then they'll put pressure on Putin," end quote. The business ties with Russia are also being served among major oil companies. The parent companies of BP and Shell have announced that they too have cut operational ties with the country run by Vladimir Putin. Now when we come back, Sarah Gorton joins us once again with the Fredonia Sports postseason update and has an update on the Buffalo Sabres. Then we're joined by our first weather report of the night. Stay tuned.
We're ready for you.
Pneumococcal.
If you're 65 or older, like me, you're at greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia, even if you're healthy.
People 65 plus are over 10 times more likely to land in the hospital for pneumococcal pneumonia than those 18 to 49. And it's important we all do what we can to stay healthy. So, talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination.
Hope, where are you hiding? I search for you in the seconds, the minutes of each and every day. Hear me as I call out to you. Take my hand. Lift me up as I lift up others. Welcome me home, Father, Mother, Sister, brother, son, daughter. Hear us now. Alone we stood, divided we fell. No longer. Now we choose to make the connection. Our new mission lies within. Visit maketheconnection.net to learn more.
16 is such a significant age. I promise to help protect my eldest daughter during this exciting time in her life. Teens are at an increased risk for meningococcal disease, a rare, potentially deadly bacterial infection. But half hadn't received the CDC-recommended second dose of the MenACWY vaccine at 16. I want to help change that. Take your shot against meningitis. Talk to your teen's doctor about the MenACWY vaccine and ask about MenB. Visit the16vaccine.org.
Welcome back. We're now joined by Sarah Gordon, who has a lot of sports to get into, so I'll let her take that away.
Thank you, Andy. So in local sports, the Fredonia men's hockey team traveled to SUNY Cortland last Saturday for the SUNYAC quarterfinal matchup. After a long physical game, the Devils' season unfortunately came to an end after falling 5-1 to the Red Dragons. The sole Fredonia goal came from David Sudbrink, who was assisted by Jake Blackwell and Ryan Bailey. The team finished with a 10-11-1 record and have high hopes for the following season. Despite the final loss, one player, the Fredonia goaltender Logan Dick, had an exceptional season and was selected for the SUNYAC All-Conference second team in only his rookie season, and we are excited to see what next season looks like for him. The Blue Devils women's and men's track teams had the SUNYAC Indoor Track and Field Championships last weekend, which resulted in sending Haley Lerner to regionals for pole vault after reaching a height of 3.20 meters and earning the second spot on the podium. On the men's side, two athletes are on their way to regionals, including Josh Walters in the 800 meters and Nick Abdo in the 200 and 400 meters. The regional meet starts tomorrow, March 4th, and Saturday, March 5th at Nazareth College in Rochester. And in national sports, the Buffalo Sabres finally pulled out a win last night, defeating the Toronto Maple Leafs in a 5-1 upset. 5 different Buffalo players scored each of the 5 goals, including Jacob Brayson, Victor Olofsson, Tage Thompson, Jeff Skinner, and Kyle Oposo. The Sabres will next play the Minnesota Wild tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on home ice.
So, Sarah, are you going to the game tomorrow?
Yes, I am going to be going to that Sabres game tomorrow, so hopefully they'll come out with a win. Thank you. We're sponsored by Trotters, so hopefully they'll come out with a win for us.
Very exciting. And joining us again this week, who possibly might be becoming a regular around News 11, Hunter Halterman joins us once again this week for a weather update. Hunter, what do you have for us today?
Fortunately, we won't see any rain or snow tonight or tomorrow, but it is going to get a little chilly. Tonight, we can expect temperatures to drop as low as 13 degrees with a 13-mile-an-hour wind gust. For tomorrow, temperatures may slowly rise back up to a high of 35 degrees, with wind gusts of 7 miles an hour. There will be partly cloudy skies in the day with more clouds at night. I'll have an update on the weekend weather forecast here shortly. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Hunter, and I think we're all excited to slowly get into more spring weather and move on from the winter here in Fredonia. Now, when we come back, we have an update on the Russian invasion after a week of fighting. We'll be right back.
We've been down there. You gotta do the same. Post office. All you do is sign. So don't get nervous. Sign your name. For selective service. It takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. For selective service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you gotta register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down. Post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service.
We are currently on the 8th day of the Russian invasion in Ukraine. Here are the latest updates we have. The mayor of Kherson, a strategic port city in Ukraine's south, has been captured by Russian forces. This marks the first major city to be considered captured by Russian troops, as many Ukrainian citizens are defending other major cities in the country. Russia is continuously strengthening its troops and focusing on capturing the key Ukrainian cities, such as the capital of Kiev, the second largest city of Kharkiv, and another key port city of Mariupol. As many as 1 million people have been forced to flee Ukraine, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees said late Wednesday.
After lots of heavy rain in Australia on Monday, parts of the Brisbane are now underwater. The water has caused 8 deaths so far, including 50-year-old man and his dog. Emergency crews have already done 130 water rescues in 24 hours. Multiple emergency flood alerts were placed in Brisbane suburbs, where 2,145 houses and 2,356 businesses were submerged on Monday, and another 10,000 homes were partially flooded. The Brisbane River peaked at 12 feet and 3 inches, which was only 2 feet below their worst flood ever in 2011, which peaked at 11 feet and 3 inches.
All right, now we're going to shift over to some odd news stories, which we're actually going to do a little bit of a slight change this week for News 11. So instead of our odd news segment, we are going to have our new What's Trending segment. Don't worry, there will still be some odd news stories. We start off tonight with a story for all of you comic book fans. Are you bummed that your favorite Marvel shows have been taken off of Netflix? Well, you may be in luck. Disney Plus recently announced that fan favorites including Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage are being added to their ranks. In a recent Instagram post, the streaming service told their audience, quote, "The countdown is on," end quote. The official date to look out for is March 16th.
We're sure this next odd news story will be amusing to you. Tuesday, a cow carried away by floodwaters in Australia was found wandering Durban Beach in New South Wales. Heavy rains have caused major flooding this week on Australia's east coast. The cow is believed to have been carried away from its home by floodwaters and washed up in the area after floating more than 3 miles down the Tweed River from a farm in the Terranora area. Animal rescue and police were called to the scene to keep crowds a safe distance from the confused cattle. The rescuers were able to get the cow safe and sound back to its home.
Tim Hortons' Roll Up the Rim campaign that was ditched in 2020 due to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic is back and better than ever. The coffee chain's revamped Roll Up to Win promo will be continued to be app-focused when it kicks off Monday, March 7th until April 3rd. All you need to do is download the Tim's app or get a registered Tim's reward card to play. Tim Hortons says millions of prizes will be given away, including a 2022 Ford Bronco, a 6-night Hilton getaway, Xbox game consoles, Skull Candy products, and of course, Tim's coffee and products. To sign up, visit timhortons.com/signup.
Well, how do you feel about all those odd news stories today, Chloe?
I really like the new shift that we're taking to be like, what's trending? I don't know. I think that's really cool, and I think I'm excited about it.
I like the cow story. I think it was kind of interesting.
The cow story,
The little
yeah.
pun with the amusing.
Yeah, poor guy.
So now we're gonna head into our weather for the week. Well, Hunter, when it comes to the weekend, are we gonna be seeing any warmer days?
On Saturday, we'll see our temperatures rise to a high of 53 degrees, with wind gusts reaching to about 14 miles an hour. These nice temperatures come with cloudy skies and some rain in the afternoon, however. Temperatures will only drop slightly towards the night to about 50 degrees with wind gusts with about 30 miles an hour. After what I've seen recently, Sunday does come with a bit of a shock. Temperatures will reach a high of 68 degrees with wind gusts about 46 miles an hour. If you do plan on going out, I recommend bringing an umbrella because there will be a 60% chance of precipitation. This has been your weekend weather forecast, and I'll pass it back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Hunter.
I'm really looking forward to this spring weather. I am freezing cold all the time. So that about does it for this week's News 11.
Yeah. As always, thank you so much to our crew and to everyone watching at home. We'll be back next week. Have a great night.